Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're getting right to the heart of the matter, or maybe the source of the matter, male fertility. We're going to talk about the testicles, a topic that's super important but often gets overlooked. We'll explore how they work, what can go wrong, and the incredible ways modern medicine, especially IVF, can help.
So, if you're on a fertility journey, or heck, even if you're just a little curious about the biology behind it all, you are in exactly the right place. Let's dive in and really understand the starting point for half of every new life.
All right, let's start at the very beginning. You can think of the testicles as the command center for male fertility. They're not just a part of the body. They're more like these incredibly busy, highly specialized factories working around the clock.
And when I say busy, I am not kidding. The output from this factory is just staggering. A healthy male can produce up to 300 million sperm cells every single day. It's an absolutely incredible feat, and it all happens through a fascinating biological process.
That process has a name, spermatogenesis. It's basically a non-stop production line that kicks into high gear at puberty and just keeps on going. This is a huge difference from female fertility, right? While women are born with all the eggs they'll ever have, men are constantly manufacturing brand new sperm. Now, for this factory to run smoothly, it needs a very specific environment. There's a super important reason the testicles are located outside the body, and it's all about temperature control. They have to stay a little bit cooler than your core body temperature to produce healthy, high-quality sperm.
So how do you get a clear idea of what's actually going on in there? Well, being proactive is everything. Understanding your testicular health isn't about waiting for a problem, it's about knowing what to look for and what tools are out there to help.
It all starts with just being aware of your own body. Things like a persistent pain, or any kind of unusual lumps or swelling, or even just changes in size or firmness. Those are all signals that it's time to check in with a doctor. As with most things health-related, catching things early is a really big deal.
And when you see a doctor, they've got a whole toolkit to get the full picture. A physical exam is usually step one. An ultrasound can give a really detailed look inside, while a hormone panel checks for any chemical imbalances. But the gold standard for really assessing fertility is the semen analysis. That's the test that looks directly at the sperm, how many there are, how they're moving, and even their shape.
So what happens when the tests do show an issue? Well, the next step is all about understanding the why. And it's so important to remember that this is a medical diagnosis, not some kind of personal failing. It's biology, plain and simple.
A common diagnosis is something called azoospermia, which is just the technical term for a complete absence of sperm in the ejaculate. It really comes in two main flavors. You've got obstructive azoospermia, which is kind of like a traffic jam. The factory is working perfectly, but there's a roadblock somewhere so the delivery trucks can't get through. Then there's non-obstructive, which is more of a factory issue, where production itself has slowed way down or even stopped.
These issues usually come from a few key areas. There can be physical problems, like a varicocele, which is basically a varicose vein that can overheat the testicles. You can also have hormonal imbalances that mess with the signals needed for sperm production. And sometimes the cause is genetic, rooted right in the chromosomes.
Okay, we have to pause here and bust a huge myth. You'd think that taking testosterone supplements would help with fertility, right? It makes sense, but it's actually the complete opposite. When your body senses testosterone coming from an outside source, it tells the testicles, hey, you can take a break, and they stop making their own, which also shuts down sperm production. This is so critical for anyone on a fertility journey to know.
But even when facing some of these big challenges, it is so far from the end of the road. And this is where modern medicine is just, well, it's incredible. It offers real hope and very real solutions.
This is probably the #1 question for men who get an azoospermia diagnosis. If the factory is working but the roads are blocked, or even if only a few assembly lines are running, how in the world do you get the sperm?
The answer is pretty cool. You go directly to the source. Surgical sperm retrieval techniques let doctors collect sperm right from the factory floor. TISA uses a fine needle, TC takes a tiny tissue sample, and the most advanced one, micro-TC, uses a powerful microscope to find and grab sperm from the tiniest little pockets of production.
And once even a single healthy sperm is found, another amazing technique comes into play, ICSI. It stands for a mouthful, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. But what it does is amazing. An embryologist selects the best available sperm and, with incredible precision, injects it directly into an egg.
So what does this mean? It means ICSI is a total game changer.
It basically bypasses almost every barrier that sperm might face, whether it's low count, poor movement, or an unusual shape. It means that even a handful of viable sperm taken right from the testicle can absolutely lead to a successful pregnancy.
Okay, while all these high-tech solutions are fantastic, let's bring it back to what you can control every day, because there is so much you can do in your daily life to support and boost your testicular health.
And fueling your fertility really starts with what's on your plate. Foods packed with antioxidants, like berries and nuts, help protect sperm from damage. Key nutrients like zinc and selenium are essential building blocks, and things like omega-3s and folate are fantastic for overall sperm health.
Your lifestyle choices also make a massive difference. Keeping a healthy weight, getting regular exercise, and finding ways to manage stress can all help balance your hormones. And quitting smoking and limiting alcohol, two of the best things you can do. And hey, remember that whole temperature thing? Avoiding hot tubs and saunas helps keep that factory running at the perfect temp.
Which, of course, brings us to the classic debate, boxers or briefs. Does it really matter? Well, it all comes back to that one core idea. Temperature. Looser underwear, like boxers, can help keep things a bit cooler, which is definitely better for sperm production. But let's be realistic. Switching your underwear isn't going to fix a major medical issue. But hey, it's one more small positive step you can take.
And that really brings us to our final thought. Taking control of your health is a journey made up of small, proactive steps. So whether it's booking that checkup, adding more spinach to your dinner, or just continuing to learn, what's one small step you can take for your fertility today? Okay, before we go, please remember that this explainer is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult with a qualified doctor for any health concerns you might have.
And for more information on the complete in vitro fertilization process, you can visit the portal at ivfforme.com. Thanks for joining us.